Hello again, and welcome to my reading of the Karuna-Virus. If you're hearing a hum of varied loudness behind me, that's because it's the month of May. I live on the top floor of a building with the sun shining right on top of it. And my room is the first thing that the sun hit when it has the right height. So yeah, it was actually 28 degree today, and that was not that hot outside. It was actually quite nice. Okay, so how are you all doing? Hmm? How has been the pandemic treating you? For me, well, sure there were some tough time, but otherwise I didn't feel it. I got my vaccine though, just because I wanted to. Well, first of all, I'm immunized, meaning if I ever get the thing, I won't put any other people sick. And also at 75%, everything else is open, and we're already looking at releasing the curfew and things like that. Okay, so that's my pitch. Now, in the previous half chapter, Zero wakes up from his crash and things have changed. Zero is not Zero or the male Zero anymore. It's female Zero, which, let's be honest, we need more of that. I mean, I don't know how canon Teppen is, but come on, Midnight Bliss Zero. Midnight Bliss Zero. Why isn't that an even bigger thing? Like, I want to see a fanfiction in which Zero returned from Teppen and something has changed. It's not Warrior Zero, it's Zero in the skirt. But, nobody capitalized on that, which I will say, shame on you. It took a Hare Krishna to do that. Anyway, so she has waken up. The virus is still there. Because, yes, obviously, this Zero is not a copied body Zero. It's original Zero. Oh, wait, okay, it's woke. It's Vaishnav woke Zero, and trust me, things will get interesting from that point on. So now, it's the um, it's the stop the hacking mission, but things will go very, very differently. Let's see how. Zero sigh as she leaned onto the terminals of for Neo Arcadia's secret-based computer, also known as the water processing plant for the entire Fancy refugee camp, also known as Neo Arcadia. The virus proving itself to be more useful than just the shut-off application for the Asimov code and the emotional suppression program all Reploids had. It was a very fantastic hacking and recovery tools if put in the right hands, like hers. Oh, and the hacker, as for the hacker, X himself. She frowned. Was it really CL's plan? Or was the young girl but another puppet in this crazy play led by none other than her dearest X? The implications were chilling. Nevertheless, Zero now had a way to end this mad game that had lasted for too long. Thank you, thank you, X, Mother Sri Upanishad and Vasudev Prabhu for teaching me how to be more than a mere machine. And thank Krishna for reminding me of everything in time. She prayed in gratitude, remembering the names of those who had helped her grow beyond Wiley's programming, beyond what had been expected of her. It was sort of new and not really. She felt back and still discovering who she was and what it meant to be Krishna conscious. A term Mother Sri Upanishad, a sweet black-skinned woman, had used. So, about Mother Sri Upanishad, she is heavily based on a woman I met in New Vrindavan 2 years ago during the Pujari course. So, I got my second initiation. First initiation, change your name. Second initiation, receive some other mantras, and with those mantras, you're then allowed to worship deities on the altar. Beyond that, you're not supposed to go there unless you have an actual seva. Um, And when I was there, I met this beautiful woman. Her name, Sri Isopanisa Devi Dasi. Black skin, her body is your typical black Afro-American, um, Southern accented lady who was devoted to the Lord in such a beautiful way the Lord came to her. No, really, as rocks. Yes, as Hare Krishna, we do worship some special rocks called the Shalagram Shilas and the Govardhan Shilas. The Shalagram Shilas are blackish and are Vishnus, or actually some are actually also Krishna. And one of our dear departed Vaishnav by the name of Indra Prabhu or Indra Baba, he said that actually those stones are Krishna. Well, you can look it up. If you want to see what's more of the history between the Shalagram Shila and why we worship them and why we worship Srimati Tulasi Devi, the plant, I would invite you all to look up the pastime of Tulasi Devi by Amala Bhaktadas. He is the one who wrote the book and he has made the narration. It is beautiful, and this devotee now is sannyas, meaning he's renounced. He used to work at Disney for voice acting, and it shows he has this amazing sense of voices. Alright, so I met her, and Sri Sapanisa Devi Dasi. Mother Sri Sapanisad, if you somehow come to this video, hi, it's Marjorie from Montreal. I hope everything went well. I hope you're still alive despite the COVID. I tried looking for you on Facebook, but I couldn't find you. I hope by Krishna's causeless mercy we'll meet again. Haribol. Okay. Krishna conscious. God conscious. Her old creator must be spinning in his grave as she must be spinning in his grave. I think I just solved the energy crisis. Zero smirked to herself, idly wondering how many RPM the old corpse must be spinning at the moment. Zero closed her eyes. She still had over 100 years worth of memory to defragment and uncorrupt, on top of the entire Veda base. Yes, actually, Veda base, you can find it online. We have the CD, we have the DVD-ROM. You can have it. It's all the books we have. It's the entire Vedic library. We also have the Vanipedia. Anyway, those are resources you can check. It's not just me-made. And 1 petabyte worth of ancient knowledge collected by the departed Vaishnavas to clean up, compile, and somehow publish. Still, it was better than being lost, confused, and overused. Obviously, she now had a goal in life, a goal that had nothing to do with killing X, hopefully, killing Maverick, and saving the world from Sigma. Again. Zero opened her purple eyes and sighed, letting a small smile lit her lips despite it all. It felt so good to know that they were something more than her being the world's most efficient and deadly war machine. The only thing that could destroy X were he to turn Maverick. Like now, for example. She was a spirit soul, a tiny part and parcel of God. In essence, it meant that she was neither Zero nor a Reploid. Wait. Okay. Sorry, I'm back on LTE again, and I just pray that it won't go over. Actually, let me just do a little something. Yes, I'm with Fido. Here you go. Turn off mobile data. There. So, yes, I have yet another new tablet. Uh, well, I know there's no internet connection. I'm the one who did it. Anyway, when you serve Krishna, two things will happen. One, you will lose things. Krishna will take everything away. Second, Krishna will give you more than what you first had. Okay. Okay. So she was neither zero nor a reploid. She had her eternal identity separated from matter. Her eternal existence was meant for the pleasure of God, Lord Krishna, and his devoted servants. In other words, she was a servant of God's servants. And while it went against everything modern humanity standed for, Zero would always choose this over being widely spot shot to light success, and a war machine made solely for destruction. Unlimited lines of code ran across all the terminals, interspersed with articles about the political climate, reported Maverick, and anything X related that had happened during her 100 years retirement. That was long. Zero lazily analyzed them all as she planned her next move. And then she realized she was never a big planner. This had always been X's department. She missed him, terribly so. At this moment, she knew exactly how Vidura felt about his brother Dasarat, yeah, not Dasarat, Dhritarashtra. But for Zero, the feeling ran even deeper. So, long story short, Vidura was one of the half brother of Dhritarashtra, the other one being Pandu. Actually, Dhritarashtra, his three brothers, Pandu was sickly, Dhritarashtra was blind, and Vidura was a Sutta, meaning he was born of a maidservant. So those three were supposed to be, one of those were supposed to rule Bharatavarsha, or India. But with the two, well, all three were disqualified. Even if Vidura was basically a sage, he was, out of humility, he decided that his brother, that his brother Pandu should have been the one to be on the throne. So Pandu's on the throne, something happened, he dies, Dhritarashtra's next on the line because Vidura's on pilgrimage. And with Dhritarashtra, things went bad. And Vidura always told his brother, please don't do that. Please don't go against the Pandavas. The Pandava India belonged to them. You're just supposed to be there as a placeholder. It doesn't belong to your son. But Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra's son, poisoned his mind more and more, and Dhritarashtra knew what Duryodhan was doing was wrong, but out of affection for him, let him do the thing. Like an over-affectionate father would do for his spoiled brats. And things went bad. One Mahabharat war later, and all of his sons were dead. His wife was mad. And, they lost billions of people. And in the end, but before that, Vidura had Vidura, despite being of mixed lineage, of mixed Varna, was still a sage. So he was one of the advisors of the king, but the king would never listen to him. So he was his brother. His big brother did not listen to him. And they're like brothers by seconds, basically. And his king did not listen to his amazingly good advice. Because Vidura is the, Yamaraj or Dharmaraj. He knows what is right from wrong. He knows sinful action from pious action. And he knows action that goes beyond that. But what Dhritarashtra was doing and what Duryodhana was doing Oh, as Yamaraj, he was basically counting their sin and how long they would stay in hell. So one day, Vidura grew tired of it. He saw his brother basically destroy, heading toward destruction. He saw his dynasty heading toward destruction. He saw the bloodiest war in history looming ahead, and it would have just taken them to give the Pandavas 5 villages and it would not have happened. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, you know, they were hard-headed. They were like, we're going to go our ways. What you say, it's good, but we're not going to listen to you. And now, tired of this whole drama, Vidura just up and left. But he never forgot his brother. Yeah, he came back after the Mahabharat war when Dhritarashtra was on the verge of death. Well, he was in old age, very sick, and he said, "Hey, listen, brother, let's just just take your wife and go to the Himalaya, because right now you're living like a dog and you're like a stray dogs in the king's palace." So that was the history of Vidura. Okay. Okay, so at this moment, she knew exactly how Vidura felt about his brother Dhritarashtra, but for Zero, the feeling ran even deeper. But if X proved himself to be too far gone, oh, Gauranga, I hope it won't have to end like this. Your desire is to flood the world with Krishna Kripa, but for this and for humanity to have a fighting chance, I need X alive and of sane mind. But how am I supposed to reach him? Sorry, just tying my laptop clip better. He locked himself in his tower. Ciel still think of me as a sentient weapon against New Arcadia, and I can't really just walk into place with folded palm begging for mercy. I would be shot on sight. Zero rubbed the bridge of her nose. Krishna, it used to be so simple, There's a maverick, go kill it. There's a Reploid, go save it. But now, having the rest of humanity chant your holy name feels like an impossible task. And then she realized she had already infected Alouette. I just need to cultivate her for a bit. Ooh, maybe Xiao could be infected. Then she returned her attention to the scrolling line of the terminal. Those computers were vital to Neo Arcadia. If Zero had listened to this young girl and did what she desired, there would have been hell to pay. Ciel, what are you playing at? But then, X had been the one hacking the base. When did X learn how to hack? And why did he let himself get caught? Actually, the whole thing about the energy crisis sounded bogus also. Reploids could recharge using the glorious sun. So to say that they were going through an energy shortage was like saying the sun had stopped shining. And last I saw, Surya Narayan was still driving his chariot around the universe. Forget what Ciel is doing. What the hell is X doing? She had expected her partner to lead humanity to a golden age. Now, she realized she had been wrong on so many levels. The scrolling stopped. The mega computer had finished fragmenting and compiling the sacred file Zero bore, the only hope for a really bright future. She could already recognize some titles of e-books she had read and audio files she had listened to as she learned the true meaning of life under the care of Mother Sri Sopanisad and her husband. Zero closed her eyes as she looked at as a look of pain twisted her pretty features. Those two great souls were gone, returning home back to Godhead ages ago. Zero was now completely alone, tasked to perform the impossible again. But wasn't the great Acharya also tasked with the impossible, to preach to the West? And he had been successful, and he had succeeded. And it was only due to the purge that all cults had and it was only due to the purge of all cults that had destroyed the beautiful empire he had built. No, not an empire, a beautiful, well-constructed house where all the world could live. No, that house is not destroyed, just evicted and its occupant tortured. What happened, it's just Krishna giving our due. And now my Lord's desire for his name to be chanted again by those who are innocent, meaning around 20 million humans and reploids. Maybe. So basically, I know I read somewhere that in Neo Arcadia it was calculated to have 20 million people. So what does 20 million people means? It means the island of Montreal. Yes, so Neo Arcadia is as big as the island I'm on right now. And I can tell you, we still have some green space. We have a downtown. We have many parks, many trees, and also not only places to grow fruit and vegetables, but it can happen. And I've walked around this island a few times, so I have a feeling of the scale of New Arcadia. It's big, but it's not, it's still pretty small. It's not Toronto sized. It's not New York sized. But it would approach Tokyo size. The taskmate finding X after the Eurasia crash seemed like a walk on the highway. But still, if God willed it, it would happen. And it was prophesied that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra would be chanted in all towns and villages. And yes, we do have a prophecy about that, and we're seeing it happen. It's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't remember which canto. But Lord Chaitanya he doesn't predict. He orders, and that Lord Chaitanya is God. He orders that in every town and village, his holy name shall be chanted. And yeah, it's happening, slowly but surely. And it will be chanted for 10,000 years. And we're just at the beginning, baby. Okay, in every town and village, well, there's only one city now, and a village. Zero closed her eyes as, once again, the feeling of complete failure flooded her. When she had turned herself to Carly and Dr. Albert Weil, she had expected not to wake up. And if she did, it would have been a world free of the maverick virus. The world X had dreamed for so long. Not a desert filled with mechalinoid of different shapes and sizes, and a single city ruled by a clearly maddened X. A sane X would never hunt down his own race with such an extreme prejudice, nor would he make an army of soulless war machines based on his own appearance. And after reading through 100 years' worth of newspapers to catch up, it was clear that her husband's sanity had been slowly and methodically breaking over decades of war, politics, and blatant racism. Thank goodness Zero had a cure for that. I just need some time to write everything down. I need paper, plenty of paper, or maybe some asbestos fabric. Yeah, asbestos can't burn, but it's not human friendly. Maybe palm leaves then. But for this, she needed trees. And if she wanted trees, grass, and whatever else was required, she needed rain. Thank God I know how to make it rain. I just need a full day's worth of peace and a few chanters. And she already had one. She needed about 20 more, though. Her shoulders sagged under the weight of her mission, the most difficult to date. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Please help me, she prayed with folded palms. as she leaned on the console, feeling great relief from the most merciful one's guiding hands. Gone were the days where she would take shelter in her strength alone. She had now she now had someone infallible backing her up. I can't fail. Even if it looks impossible, it will work. It has to. Disconnecting herself from the central console, the last Vaishnavi purposefully strode out of the main computer room, reinstalling the firewall on her way out. She also left a bit of infection to end all hacking attempt before they could even start. No point leaving the place worse than when she came in. After all, she was not a force of destruction. Not anymore. And that's the first part. Next part, enter Fairy Leviathan. Oh, well, that being said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Good evening. If you've listened to this long, you're awesome. Good night.